we cannot talk about HSE digital transformation without fully understanding the various HSE processes that we can digitize. And so we're going to look at a few of these processes and how we can set them all up in Microsoft Teams. Now, whenever we talk about HSE processes, we are talking about all the arrangements we put in place for managing health and safety. Now, these arrangements can fall under 4 broad categories such as health, safety, environment, and quality, depending on the scope of your management system. So under safety, we can talk about incident reporting, investigation, safety inspection, safety audit, action tracking, work execution process such as permit to work system, risk assessment, and toolbox docs. Under environment, we can even talk about environmental monitoring, sustainability reporting, waste management, emission tracking. Under quality, we can talk about non-conformance reporting, quality inspection, calibration tracking, customer complaint tracking, customer satisfaction survey. Under health, we can talk about occupational exposure monitoring, health surveillance monitoring, fitness to work tracking. Now, the list is endless, and all of these important processes, we need to set them up so that we can actually collaborate with our team, leveraging all the Microsoft 365 solutions. Now, we've already looked at a few of the videos, like where we talked about Microsoft SharePoint and Microsoft Teams. We came to understand the role of Microsoft SharePoint as a document management platform for collaboration among members within our organization. And again, Microsoft Teams, which is a communication platform for collaboration with all members within our teams. And then OneDrive, we talked about the role of OneDrive, which is very important for offline work. And so we don't have access to internet and we work and we eventually have access to internet. Everything that we did, all the records, all the updates would update and sync automatically into a cloud. It is important we understand the role of web versions of Microsoft Office suite. All right, so Microsoft Excel, Word, PowerPoint, the web versions which enable us to open files online, and then the desktop versions which enable us to open files offline. So all of these are important, and these are literally the tools that we have available. Okay, we can talk about a few others: Microsoft Power BI and the Microsoft Power Apps. Now let's get right into it. So today we are going to look at, we're going to continue from where we stopped, where we look at the HSE team that we created. All right, so we created a team, HSE team, and then we understood that it gets a site created to us by default, and so that's what we have here. That is the HSE team. And then within the team are the channels, right? So if you open there, you're gonna see that each of the channel will show as a folder, and so these are what we have: general, incident reporting, safety audit, safety inspection. And so I'm going to show you how you can create additional ones. Okay, so incident reporting, then we're gonna create HSE observation reporting as well. So let's just create another channel. We come over here and we create a new channel, and then we select a team where we're gonna place the channel, and that's HSE team. This one, I click on OK or done, and then I give it a channel name like observation reporting. And so we want people to be, submitting the observation probably through a form or through a system that we have put in place and all. And then what kind of team do we want? We want a standard team everybody can join. And then again, also we choose whether we want a thread or a post. Now take note, whenever we talk about a thread, it looks like a conversation, so you can actually mention the people whilst you're having a conversation with them, like what it is in WhatsApp. The post one has to do with like posting on LinkedIn, that kind of thing. So let's choose thread and we click on OK. So that's gonna create another channel for us. So that is very simple to create, and as you can see, and so you can literally create channels for a lot of activities. All right, now after we create a channel, what do? We need to set it all up. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is that within, for example, general, okay, we can have a dedicated, what we can do with general. What can we do with general? All right, so let me just remove this one. I have something here which I don't want to show you because I'll probably show that when we are setting up. Okay, so the general channel we created, we probably want to give access to all our management system documentation, all the templates that we have, all the tools that we have, and all of these amazing stuff. Okay, so what do? First and foremost, it is important that we bring in a site into our teams, right? So what site are we bringing? We are probably bringing in, so let's just come to the home tab and want to bring in where we have our management system documentation. And so all I need to do is just click on this so that I have access to the URL. Okay, so the URL of the site, I just copy it, I head over to Teams, and I come here, the general tab, I click on the plus sign, and I click on the apps, and I choose SharePoint. So this is actually going to give me some options, whether you want the HSE team or I actually want any site. I don't want the HSE team site, I just want any site, right? And then I'll paste the link, click on save. So this is going to take some time, and there we have it. We've been able to bring our SharePoint in here so that people can actually use it. So we have incident reporting here, we have Power BI, whatever, and this is where we can actually have access to a lot of files. Okay, if people you want them to probably update something, they can actually do that here. You want them to go and put something in a folder, they can do that. Assuming there has been an incident and you want them to upload all the relevant documents related to the incident, that can actually be done. All right, so when it comes to the reporting, in fact, we could have actually brought it here if we like. For example, we can just say that instead of being in general, we can actually bring it here. Okay, so we click on SharePoint once again, and then I'll just paste it here. Okay, I'll paste it here again, and if that's what we want, that we want to make sure that it is on almost every side. That's all up to us. So let's assume that we don't want it in general. We probably want it here, and so we want all incident reporting to be in this folder. You can actually list a folder. You can only list a site within Teams. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay, now another interesting thing that we need to bear in mind is that apart from the fact that we are collecting documents, and the fact that also within the conversation in our Microsoft channel, you can see that we can actually report incidents over here. So we can say that, hey, an incident has occurred on one of our sites, and everybody within Teams will be aware. And then again, if they have to upload any file, they have to access any file within SharePoint, they can actually do that here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to embed a template that we have. And so we're going to click on app, and we click on Excel, and then we look through our sites. So that's where we want to be, and I'll just search incidents. So I just want to make sure that our incident reporting template is here. So that should be one of this. I think it is this one. I'll just click on it and I'll save. Okay, so that is going to pop up over here. Okay, so what it means is that we've been able to bring in an incident reporting template over here, so that as the incident happen on site, they can actually come over here and update. So I would actually probably bring in another column for our work site. Okay, the work site could be in there and all of that. So I have a few updates to do. Now the interesting thing about working with Excel Online, so this is actually leveraging Microsoft Excel Online, the web version, and so we can continue to update with the latest incident that has happened. And then once we are done, we click on refresh all. But I have some automation to do. I know that I need to sort of improve on this template, because typing incident ID is probably not a good idea. We can actually automate that. So let me just for now we are typing it in, but I'll do the changes right after this video. Okay, we're gonna do that together. If you don't mind, we'll probably see that in another video where I customize this template and all. And then we have an instance. So there was a man overboard, so man fell overboard at drill ship. And then while we provide the details, I don't have time for that. Okay, I don't want to waste time trying to type all of this. So let's assume that we've logged in a new incident. The next thing we have to do is I just go to a dashboard. We go to data tab on the menu and click on refresh all. So I'll just show you a few things. Now the interesting thing about the dashboard is that the dashboard is dynamic to some extent. Okay, so once I click on this, things begin to filter. Okay, that's the beauty of working with Microsoft Online, except the fact that you need to be aware that whenever we have some of these charts grouped, they're not going to load. And so before we get them to be active like this, we need to make sure that the chart is not grouped together with any shape, or it's going to appear as a picture. So we can see that this dashboard is very, very dynamic, and that's very, very good for us to see. Now let's do something. Let's delete all of this. So we delete all of this, okay, to get ready to enter our own data. So let's go to the dashboard once again. We go to the data tab, we click on refresh all. There we have it, as you can see. And so we can always go back and undo what we did. So yes, undo. Okay, no further action required. That's quite interesting. So I've literally lost the data. That's a funny part of this whole thing, because I don't know, I had to couldn't undo it. So I've literally lost the data, and so I'll have to start populating my own data. Now let's understand a few things. Now assuming that I'm not so comfortable working online over here, okay, or let's try to update something. So let's try our best to update something. So SHEQXEL, I click on the date. Now the interesting thing about the dates in the web version is the fact that it pops up as a calendar. Okay, and so I'm just gonna give it a unique ID, but as I did mention, this unique ID I'll probably want to automate it. I'll just concatenate the row number with INC, and that's it. Or maybe I'll make it an approval list where people can predetermine their incident case ID and all of that, but I'll think about it. So let's assume man slipped details. Man slipped while descending the staircase. Okay, and then what type of incident was it? It was a medical first aid case. Okay, let's keep going. Body part injured. Okay, there was no. Okay, let's say he had an injury to the elbow. He slipped and got an injury to the elbow. What type of injury was it? It was abrasion, and we keep going like that. Was there any downtime? Probably 1 hour of downtime was lost. Related activity, he was descending the staircase. Okay, let's assume the spelling is correct. Related equipment, okay, related material. So we can actually provide a related, if it applies. Location, you can choose any location that you wanna use. Probably the main deck. Okay, you can see the main deck. Underlining cause, was there any underlining cause? It could probably be due to lack of attention. Cause category will be a human behavioral factor. Type of person involved is like our own employee, so it's a worker, our own worker. And then the sex of the person. Okay, the sex of the person is let's say male. Level of investigation is probably not required. Status is probably closed. Now let's check on the dashboard. Just click here, we refresh all, and let's see. Then we can open it on desktop to see something. So let's just go to desktop, open it in desktop view, and let's try to see if it's going to load. Now we click on resume edit whilst you're opening in desktop. Okay, let's refresh again. Let's see. Okay, so it didn't update, but no issues. Let's just go on opening desktop. Okay, so discard changes. Yes, discard changes. And then let's go to the source data. And then the data is in there, as you can see. Whatever we did in, in Microsoft Teams is here. And so we'll refresh it. There we have it. I actually forgot to use a slicer, and so sometimes we forget to use a slicer or the timeline. Okay, so guess what? Once I save this and I close it, even though I've opened it on desktop, right? Once I have this and I close it, so let's just wait for this to load. Okay, so we just close this. Okay, let's close this. Let's get into our resume editing here. So always you have to sort of resume editing, and things are going to be updating because you need to confirm that, so actually what I didn't do was the fact that it was all blank like this, and I didn't click on, it was still like somehow like this, so I was supposed to simply drag it over here. Okay, so as you can see, incidents have started populating, and that is really it, guys. So you see, we were able to open it offline, and we were able to update, and it was able to sync over here as well. So let's just see what happens. Assuming I don't want to repeat it. Okay, so there we have it. This is just setting up our HSE process in Microsoft Teams, and then sort of bringing in the site, and then also bringing one of our templates. So I'm going to be demonstrating all of this in subsequent videos, so we look at one template at a time. So this is actually our HSE incident trend analysis tool, but I'll be doing a little bit of updates on it just to introduce the working sites or the work site, and then also ensure that the case ID is based on automation. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you find this video very insightful. I'm going to see you guys in another video. Bye for now. Cheers.